What's going on, everyone? It is Jacob here from the Batting Practice Podcast. And as soon as I started talking, my dog got out from under me, and I think I just
Mm.
scared the. Yep. Did you hear them? Did you hear him?
I
Yep.
heard the shake. I heard the
Yep.
shake.
Yep. Yep. He did not like the intro. This is what happens when Nosh isn't here, is I'm forced to do the intro and the dogs get affected. So thanks, Nosh. That one's on you. Yeah, he's not here today, so we're running a duo cast on the last day of the regular season in the MLB, and he's not here. So let him have it. Let him have it. Absolutely. We had some incredible races going on ending today. Our predictions from last week are completely different from our predictions this week. And we're going to go over our predictions as well for the wild card and the first round of the playoffs. So stay tuned for that. It might be a little bit of a quicker episode today just because of we're covering the playoffs. Also, a little bit of a fun SoRare talk at the end. If you are an OG SoRare listener, skip ahead to the end. I'm gonna do an experiment. We're gonna craft a card and see if I can win myself a postseason card, if that's even something that exists in crafting. I don't know. So we can find out. But yeah, let's first and foremost get right into it. I mean, what a day it was to be a baseball fan. It is. It's NFL Sunday. I'm wearing my Packers jersey, and I was sitting there watching baseball the entire afternoon. I had simulcast up. I had the Mets Marlins going. I had the Yankees Orioles going. I had the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were playing the who are the Blue Jays playing? I don't remember. The Blue Jays won because they destroyed their opponents. um, I had the Brewers Reds going. I had, most importantly, maybe the Brewers Reds going, even though the Reds ended up losing and it was the Mets who threw away the game, causing them to not make the playoffs, which we'll get into in a bit. But yeah, where do we even start? It's hard to start. Well, first and foremost, Andrew, how are
Yeah.
you doing today? How are you doing?
We drove back through the whole state of Wisconsin today, and yeah, there's a ton of baseball, ton of football on. It honestly makes when you're going for a long car ride or traveling for any kind, throwing on sports is like the best way, I think, to break up a long drive. Easier than a podcasts are great, audiobooks are fine. Music, unless you got like your whole artist, all of their collection of music, even 7 hours of Green Day, I might be like, all right,
Yeah.
guys, like let's I'll we got through American Idiot, we got through all the greatest hits. But sports, whether it's baseball, basketball, it's so electric to hear on the radio. And I have to say, I think the best audio only sport to listen to. Obviously, I'm biased because we do this podcast. I think it's baseball. Baseball, only listening to it, the way the announcers can call balls and strikes, it's amazing. Like you don't. I think I could, and I do. I have just sat and just listened to baseball games without even watching a single pitch, because it's just that entertaining. I don't know. Maybe obviously I'm biased. Jacob, do you have a favorite sport to listen to only if you can't watch the video?
That's a good point. Let me counter your question with a different answer and
Hmm.
say what I don't like listening to as much on the radio. I'm not the
Oh,
biggest fan of football on the radio
yeah.
unless it's Wayne Larrivee calling
Mm.
the Packers. I don't mind
Yep.
that. If I'm listening to a random game,
Yeah.
like I'll on the way to work, I'll throw on sports radio. But if it's the weekend, if I throw on the radio, it defaults to like their coverage of football games.
Yeah.
And that I couldn't care less about. That I'm like, it doesn't matter. Um, Baseball, absolutely. You have your color commentator just like you
Oh,
do during the feed, just like you do during like an NFL live stream, but you have your color commentator only in the NFL during the video portion. You don't really have that existing on the
mm-mm.
other side. Basketball is entertaining to listen to on the radio for sure because it's nonstop, not entertainment other than like timeouts and fouls and such. Same with hockey. Hockey is
Mm.
great to listen to on the radio. But that being said, with all of the time in between pitches and stuff like that, you might be thinking like, what are these guys talking about? They're obviously biased. They're talking about having baseball be the best sport audio only. Well, that's because that color commentary in between is just that much better. And like you said, the main announcer, their ability to read the plays, like for example, today I was making note. It was cool. The Guardians announcer had a double steal going on, and he just called the double steal so naturally. So like he's seeing the pitch come in, calls the pitch a ball, I believe it was. It doesn't really matter. Calls the pitch and also is like both runners are in motion, so he is checking every aspect of the game before he even calls that pitch. So yeah, I think I agree with you there. Baseball audio only on the radio. Catch me listening every now and then to basketball, but like I said, if it's a team that's not mine, I don't really care. I could listen to a
Yeah.
baseball game on the radio and it's not my team, and I'm like, I can do this. If
It,
you give me like the Clippers versus the Rockets,
no.
ah, maybe give me the Rockets because I think Amin Thompson is great, but I don't care. But give me the Marlins versus the Rockies. I'll listen to the Marlins versus the Rockies, man.
I know. I know. And you have, I feel like in baseball, iconic voices on the radio. Bob Uecker, Vin Scully, even Harry Carey of the Cubs. Like, I don't think there's another sport that has as famous radio people as you do like TV only. You know, it's like I couldn't tell you the. I mean, we obviously know Wayne Larrivee, but I couldn't tell you who that is for the Cubs. You know, I don't even think most Cubs fans or Bears fans could tell you their radio only voice. I mean, maybe they could, but I just think the voices from the radio are they're celebrities in themselves, and yes, a lot of them are from previous era, and unfortunately, some of them aren't with us anymore, but. I think just voice from the radio, the what they can tell with the story, and hopefully as podcast hosts we can do the same thing with our takes. But yeah, shout out to the radio. It's great. Gets you through so many things and makes driving more fun.
Let me ask you another question real quick before you fall here. Do you listen to sports radio or music more often?
Mm, probably sports radio. If I'm in the car, 100% sports radio. But I will say like music is I listen to more music probably around the house. But if I'm
Sure,
in the
sure, sure.
car,
Yeah. Okay,
weirdly
yes.
I'm kind of
Yeah. I
opposite.
guess I was referring
Um,
to in the car, yeah. But yeah, yeah, good point. Good point.
I switch it up, but yeah, if it's just me, and I'm like, going for a drive, like, yeah, I'll put on sports radio or honestly sports podcast because I haven't bothered to learn what the Chicago sports stations are, and to be honest, I don't need to listen to that stuff.
That's true.
But yeah, sports podcasts are where it's at. But yeah, sports radio, amazing.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think baseball is definitely the best. Absolutely. But let us know. Let us know if you disagree otherwise. But speaking of baseball being the best, like I said, spent all day today on this NFL Sunday watching
Yeah,
baseball, and it
baseball.
was great. And I think the game that I had my eyes glued to the most was Mets versus Marlins.
Yep.
And the Marlins put up a four spot early on in the game. I want to say like the third or the fourth inning, maybe. And that was it. They didn't look back. The Mets could not muster across a single run in
Mm,
their do or die game. The Reds had lost. The Reds had lost today. The Mets
crazy.
needed to win, but didn't
Just
matter by the time they it was later on in the game. They were already losing. They were down. They got shut out. Francisco Lindor grounds into a double play to end the game. What are we doing out there in New York? We have Juan Soto. We have Pete Alonso. We have Francisco Lindor. We have Edwin Diaz. We
Yeah.
have all of these starters. Sure, we had some injuries as well, but we have players getting called up like Noel McLean, who pitched fantastic. And it's like the Mets just, for some reason, kept losing games, and they lost enough games to not make it into the playoffs, losing the tiebreaker to the Cincinnati Reds. Your Cincinnati Reds, three teams from the NL Central are in the playoffs. How about that? But before we get on to that, yeah, what,
Insane.
what, how do we even start with the Mets? How do we even start? They had the best record in baseball for the first 2.5 months. And guess who ended
Just
up with that?
your
One on
Milwaukee
your hat.
Brewers.
One
Yeah.
on your hat.
Yeah.
Sucks for my fantasy team. Sucks for my SoRare team.
I know I did lose a lot with those
Yeah.
those players.
Yeah.
No, because like those three players, I think most teams would take them as your starting and they bat 1, 2, 3.
hmm
Like, how do you not put up more runs with your best three? Obviously, if you look at the pitching today, they used more pitchers than either team scored runs today. Complete bullpen game. I think probably as you look at Mets fans, that's where you point fingers. Sometimes, those bats of Lindor, as a SoRare manager, I have them in my lineups, and there's a stretch during the season, obviously when they were just rolling through everyone else those first 2 months, in automatic starts across the board. But I'll be honest with you, I can't remember exactly the time frame I took them out, but I would only play Lindor and Alonso for those strategic matchups where it's like, oh yeah, they're in Colorado, they're playing the Marlins. They should really smash this team, and I feel like they disappointed. They weren't clutch. They weren't clutch, and they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. And you know, as a Brewers fan, I'm kind of happy that they're not in.
You couldn't yeah. I agree as well. Now, will it come back to bite us? Maybe we'd be like, oh, maybe we should have played the Mets this year instead of last year. I don't know.
Yeah,
That being
yeah. I mean,
said, almost immediately after the game ended,
yes, I'm seeing
Pete
this.
Alonso comes out and says, yeah, I'm gonna opt out of my final year of my contract and I'm gonna enter free agency as he has that opt out clause. It has been exercised immediately. Less than an hour, reports coming out after the
Insane.
Mets versus Marlins game ended. He's like, yeah, get me out of here or pay me more money. And the way this season ended, do you think it's get me out of here? Do you think Pete Alonso is gone from the Mets just like that? They just signed Soto to 1 million years.
I mean, they there's a lot of teams that I think would be interested in him. Obviously, he is on the older side, but as you look, there are, Freddie Freeman, way older. Um, and I think I would imagine that he takes his talents outside of New York. I mean,
Mm.
well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe he'll just move uh, across boroughs. Maybe
Mm.
he's gonna find himself on the upper part of Manhattan there, up there in the Bronx.
Him and Juan Soto trade places.
Yeah, maybe,
Or
maybe.
Goldschmidt retires, Pete Alonso new first base. No,
That's,
Goldschmidt's not retired.
I
Huh?
mean,
Huh?
or move into a DH only. Just don't. But he's so still good on defense, and
Man, if
Goldschmidt
the
is
Yankees wind up with like Nolan Arenado and Pete Alonso, jeez, we don't need to talk about that right now. We're not talking about
insane.
2026 yet. It's still 2025. Yeah, Mets out, Reds in, of course. What we have for the entire playoffs on the NL side, we got Mets. Just kidding. See you later. We got Reds facing the Dodgers in LA as the 6 seed versus the 3 seed. We have the Padres facing right down the street from Andrew, the Chicago Cubs
Mhm.
as a 5 seed versus the 4 seed. And your Milwaukee Brewers coming out on top with the bye number 1 seed, Phillies walked it off today. Harrison Bader caps it off against his former team this year in the
Mm.
Twins with a walk-off, taking second place in the National League. And yeah, that's a good little outlook there for the National League. Any other surprises here before we make our quick predictions and hop on over to the AL?
So I know there's a ton of tiebreakers in it. I do kind of wish as a fan, I kind of want more baseball. I know we're gonna get the playoffs. But can we have a game 163? The Mets and the Reds did finish with the same record. Obviously, with tiebreakers, goes to the Reds. I guess that's why you play all of those games. But selfishly, wouldn't it be kind of sick if the Mets and the Reds got to play? Then it's they settle it directly. Um, I know, they try to avoid, 163 now with the expanded playoff format and the wild card round. It's kind of basically like a play-in game, but now you play in three games. But yeah, I don't know. As a fan, I'm like, I see that, and as much as I am happy that the Mets aren't in it, a part of me is like, you know what? Why not? Let's
What
have
if
one
what
more
if they
day of
still did
baseball.
it? I don't know. I could
Yeah,
go either way. I'm
yeah,
totally okay with it not being there.
yeah.
Reds got the job done during the regular season. If anything, it makes those regular season games
That's
worth
true.
just a little
That's
bit
true.
more.
Yeah, I like
So
that. Yeah,
take every one out of 162.
yeah.
Take it seriously. And this all could change once realignment happens with expansion teams in a couple years. So who knows? Who knows? Let's start out in LA.
Yes.
Do the Reds stand any chance against LA?
You know, it would be so sweet if they could dethrone the Dodgers. Oh my God. It would be amazing. It's like, but no, no,
No, no.
no,
Hunter Greene.
no. He's
Hunter
so
Greene will
good.
shut him down.
He's great. Uh, they still need to win more than one game. They need to win more than one game.
They have to win two games. If they win, if they take one, you never know. If they take game one, you never know. I think this comes down to that game one. If the Dodgers win game one, I don't see the Reds
Mm,
coming back. That being said, if the Reds take game one, I can absolutely see the Dodgers coming back. So that's a yet to be determined. That being said, Dodgers are inevitable. I've said it 100,000 times on the
yep,
podcast. I'm picking the Dodgers over the Reds. It was fun watching the Reds celebrate today.
it was. Yeah, they deserve that.
A lot of young guys getting their first action in the postseason. Reds haven't been in the postseason in a while. So shout
No,
out
we.
to the like Ellie De La Cruzes and the
Mm-hmm.
Sal Stewarts and the Matt McClains and the Spencer
Mm-hmm.
Steers and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guys on that team that are young. Hunter Greene, Andrew Abbott. These guys have never seen the postseason before, so that should be a good time there until they lose to
Be
the
fun.
Dodgers.
It's gonna be fun, but yeah, yeah, I think so.
And Chicago,
Hmm.
my heart wants to pick the Padres so we don't have to worry about the Cubs, but the baseball gods want the Brewers versus the Cubs in the NLDS. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter if Fernando Tatis comes in hot swinging the bat. I think the Cubs are going to take against the Padres.
I don't
And
know, man.
I would you rather? Would you? No.
Here's
I
the
thought about it
story.
first. Yeah, yeah. Here's the story.
All right. I forget if it was two off seasons ago now. The hottest arm around was Yu Darvish. And I remember at the time we sat here and I forget if it was just in the text chain or we said it on the pod. We're like, dang it, the Cubs are gonna get Yu Darvish. It's on the Padres now. Padres jumped on it. They have him. I think the Cubs are gonna rue the day they don't have Yu Darvish. Yu
Dang.
Darvish Elite is gonna come out just against the Cubs, and he's gonna shut them down. He's gonna say, "I wish you signed me," uh, and I think it's gonna come back to haunt him. Little October haunting from the ghost of Yu Darvish.
Okay, he played for the Cubs between 2018 and 2020.
Okay,
So
so they did sign him
he
for a
was
little bit.
not there. He was not. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not
yeah,
there
yeah.
for the championship season,
No, no.
and one of the years was the COVID bubble. But you think 38-year-old Yu Darvish is coming back to Chicago and is going to dominate the Cubs? All right,
Hey, if
let's
it's not
see.
him, it's also Cubs hater teammate, former White Sox Dylan Cease,
Okay.
also ready to throw some shit. So I think it's personal, man. I think it's personal for these guys. I think I think they let the bad blood come out, and I think they take it to him.
All right. All right. So we got Brewers, Padres, Phillies, Dodgers. I'm going Dodgers again for round two.
All right.
I think the Phillies are great. I think Schwarber will hit a bunch of home runs, but Otani will hit more.
You want to say? Do you want to save that for after? I know we gave a little tease of your round two. Do we want to save the rest
Let's no,
for
no, no. We'll
next
do
week?
this is we'll because round two starts on Saturday.
Oh, that's
Round two
true. That's
starts
true.
before we record again.
That's true. That's true. All
So
right.
we'll
All right.
already
We
have a
can we can
game or
give
two
our.
in. Yeah, we'll already have a
All
game
right.
or two advanced. So we can re come back to it. We'll come back to it next week because Nash
All
isn't
right.
here anyway. So
That's true.
we'll we'll reconvene. But
So you
now,
got the
yeah,
Dodgers again. Dodgers
Dodgers
again.
over the Phillies. And I think for the first time in a long time, the Brewers are sending it back to the NLCS. 2019, sorry, let's try that again. 2018,
Yep. 18.
Dodgers, Brewers, NLCS. Brewers have home field advantage. It's exactly like it was 2018. I think it's happening again.
Yeah. I don't want it to. Um, but you know what, actually, Jacob? I think the Phillies. I think the Phillies are pulling it out. I
Ooh.
think the Phillies pull it out. And I think unfortunately, yeah, Brewers advance, but ultimately, I think well actually no, we don't need to pick that matchup then at that point, right? We just need to say the Brewers advance. Obviously, they have the bye. They win the DS. And yeah, I'm gonna take Phillies over Dodgers in the other divisional series.
All right, there you go. Well, like I said, we'll reconvene next week, but why don't we hop on over to the AL, which was even crazier than
Yeah,
the NL
yeah.
was. And I think we have to shout out immediately the Cleveland Guardians, who overtook a 15 game deficit and won the division today. Brian Rocchio hitting a walk-off home run to cap it off. They didn't need to win because the Tigers had already lost. They'd already won the division. But why not add that cherry on top on a 1-2 pitch, by the way, off the foul pole? Guardians, they win the division. They overcame a 10-game deficit in September. 10 games 28 days
Insane.
ago. We need to go back and look at
Insane.
the podcast. And because we did a, if this season ended today, like 3 or
Yes.
4 weeks ago, is the perfect episode to do because it's totally different than it was. I think I was still talking about the Astros back then too, which who were eliminated like 2 days ago. They weren't even taking part in this last day of baseball shenanigans. I mean, they were playing a game, but they didn't have any chance to make it. So, Guardians winning the division, Tigers are still in, but Tigers fans are they're depressed. They're in the postseason and they're depressed. It's
Yep.
not a good feeling to be in the postseason with no momentum. And I feel like that's where the Tigers are at. They're in the postseason with zero momentum. But maybe they can get it back, but they got to go back to Cleveland and somehow do it, even though they weren't able to do it the past couple of times. Blue Jays taking the AL East today, destroying the Rays, who I forgot about who they were playing earlier. It was the Rays who they were playing earlier. Home runs
By
all
the way,
around. Alejandro Kirk, 2 home runs. George Springer, home run. Addison Barger, home run. Blue Jays taking the number one seed in the AL over there, meaning that the Yankees are forced into that four hole for the seed, and the Red Sox are forced into that five hole. And that means for the wild card over on the AL side, we're getting Yankees hosting Red Sox already. I
This
love
could
it.
be a ALCS matchup. I'm just gonna say that.
I was gonna say it almost doesn't feel right that it's a wild card matchup.
No, no. I forget the football matchup, but that had to happen. I think it was last season, or like the Chiefs or the Ravens had to play each other week one or the first game.
Oh
This
yeah.
yeah, this kind of feels like, when again, and we see this sometimes with the Champions League. I think the Champions League even had it where like Real Madrid had to play Man City right away or something like that. Stuff happens, with draws, but I guess in MLB they both played their way into these seeds. I think particularly with the Yankees not getting winning the division, and now they have to play their arch rivals down in Boston. I'm gonna say
No,
right
it's in
now,
it's in New York. It's in New
oh,
York.
it's in New York. But this is, I think, my series I'm most excited for. Boston, New York, October baseball. I don't think it gets better than that.
It really can't. I am also excited for this series, except for the fact that I vaulted some of my
Mm.
Yankees, and you can only unvault one card per day. And I have three Yankees I need unvaulted in 2 days. It's
Oh,
so rare. So it's not going to happen. Do I unvault Paul Goldschmidt or Ben Rice? Ben Rice had two homers today.
I'll say Ben Rice. Yeah, that was what my gut said.
Ben Rice had two homers today. David Bednar has looked great. Their
Yes.
bullpen has been so sketchy, but we need to shout out David Bednar shutting out the Orioles today, getting his final save of the regular season. Their bullpen can be hit or miss, but Bednar looks dangerous. I will say if the Yankees come into the bottom of the ninth with a lead, look out. Because Bednar, other than I think one slip up pretty much right after he was traded, has been pretty much lights out. So
And
I think I mean you could say the same thing about Chapman. You can say the same thing about both closers. I
but I
think I give
think
the edge to the Yankees because of the offense.
absolutely. And I think Bednar perfectly encapsulates the advantage that big market, big money teams have. Like if a team like the Brewers, Trevor McGill goes down, I mean, their amazing farm system. Most teams, look at the Astros. I think Astros are the perfect example of this. They lose Josh Hader. They really kind of struggled to find a really solid replacement. The Yankees thought Devin Williams was going to be their closer, and when he sucked to start this year, for so many teams, they would mean they're not making the playoffs. Their closer sucks, not going to do it,
I mean, that's games at a time that you're giving
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And with the Yankees budget, with the Yankees uh, money backing them, they went out at the trade deadline. They got David Bednar, who Jacob said has been electric. So I think, as we look at these playoffs as big money, small market, I think the Yankees' advantage shows in them getting Bednar because for so many teams, they would just have to settle with a mediocre closer. But the Yankees don't tolerate that kind of stuff. They tolerate facial hair now, but they don't tolerate mediocrity. And I think for that reason, I think they're winning this. I think they're beating Boston.
I think so too. Home field advantage. October in Yankee Stadium is different. It's
Yeah.
different. Now, did it work for them all last year in the World Series? No. But hey, we're facing the Red Sox. It's October. Yeah, I'm giving it to the Yankees. And moving on up, it's
Mm.
got to be the Guardians. I don't trust the Tigers at all. I don't trust the Tigers at all. Scooble got a little bit injured a few weeks ago and came into pitch again and did okay. Walked and hit a batter and hit someone in the face. He hit David Fry in the face or
Yeah,
bunted
I
off of
saw
his
that.
face. Yeah, not
Yeah.
wasn't Scooble's fault necessarily, but yeah, I don't think the Tigers have any of the momentum, and you need some of that momentum in the playoffs to. I got the Guardians coming up to face Seattle, and I got the Yankees coming up to face the Blue Jays. That's what I got.
100%. And their lineup doesn't scare me hitting wise, even pitching wise. I think they flew too close to the sun, and unfortunately, they've kind of just been falling back to earth ever since. And I think the Guardians are red hot. They stay red hot. They know their division foes. They've beaten their division foes. They take it. Agree.
Yeah, like what happens if you lose the game to Scooble? Or sorry, if you lose the game with Scooble in it.
Yep. It's it's just like Hunter Green. I think they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Just they're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would leave us with Blue Jays, Yankees, and then Mariners, Guardians. And I really, really want to pick the Blue Jays and the Mariners. I
Mm.
want to go kind of fun over here on the AL side. I want some teams that we don't normally see late into the playoffs. And I want to see the Blue Jays beat the Yankees. They kind of did all year. And I don't want them to stop. And I want the same thing to happen to Cal Raleigh in Seattle. I don't want him to stop. And coming up against Cleveland, I don't think he's going to stop. I think he's going to keep hitting home runs in the postseason. Yeah, Blue Jays moving on to the CS to face the Mariners. That's what I got.
I too think your Mariners are going to take it in round two. Unfortunately, though, I gotta be chalky. I think the Yankees
I
beat
know
the
the
Blue Jays.
Yankees.
I gotta be chalky. They have this
Aaron
October
Judge.
swagger. They've done it before. They have that pedigree, and they're the Yankees. It's just like the Dodgers. It's something in the water, something in the uniform, something in the hat. I don't know what it is, but yeah, Yankees in October. It makes sense. The only way to stop the Yankees in October is for them not to make the playoffs. They're in it, so I think they move on with round two as well.
Yeah, there we have it. And that's where we're going to stop for now because we've done the postseason a couple times now. We did when this season, or if the season ended today. And then we also did our superlatives at the beginning of the season and mid-season. So we've done World Series like 3 times already. We don't need to do World Series yet. Of course, we're going to do it the entire postseason anyways. So updates next week. Hey, maybe we're going 0 for 4. You never know. Maybe the Tigers catch some momentum here
That'd be crazy.
late on in the season. Don't know.
It could be, could be.
But before we hop on over to this day in history in the pickle, Andrew, you mentioned it. We have to mention it. Astros not in the
Yeah.
playoffs this year. Josh Hader going down, Jordan going down, one of the most injury riddled teams out there. Jeremy Pena was hurt for a while
Yep. They brought in
and
Correa. Still wasn't enough. It still was
wasn't
not enough.
enough. I thought Correa was going to turn it around.
Yeah.
Jordan was coming back and Jordan got hurt again. And that kind of just it petered them out. They weren't good
Mhm.
enough to do what they needed to do to make the playoffs. They weren't winning games against like the A's when
Nope.
they needed to, the Angels when they needed to. Come on. If you can't beat those teams, you can't be in the playoffs at this time of year. And they really couldn't. Can you blame the injuries? Sure. But does
You know who they
yeah, go for it.
you know who they could have used? Kyle
Kyle
Tucker.
Tucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You let your best player walk, you don't make the playoffs.
Hmm.
That's what happens. So saying Mets, you let Pete Alonso walk? Ah, well, you didn't make the playoffs this year, but you're not
Yeah.
going to make it again next year.
Yeah. Oh man, Pete's gonna get paid, and I wonder if it's not gonna be the Mets. We will see.
I don't
But
know.
there we go. That is your postseason picture 2025, the last day of the regular season. It's pretty cool that we get to record on the last day of the regular season,
162. Day
day
162.
162.
Insane.
And yeah, speaking of what happened today,
Ooh,
we're
what
going to throw it
happened?
on over to this day in history. We're going almost exactly 100 years ago, actually a little bit more than 100 years ago. We're
Whoa.
throwing it back to September 28th, 1919. And I got
Ooh,
a
World War One.
pretty short this day in history for you guys today. And why is that? Well, the shortest 9 inning game in
Mm,
MLB history happened on September 28th, 1919. And you're like, what on earth? Why does this matter? Well, the game lasted 51 minutes. A
okay, tell me
nine
more.
inning game. A 9 inning game. That's 18 half innings in 51 minutes. Under 3 innings a half minute? Or sorry,
They
under
go.
a half inning? Under, let me, how did I do that? In my brain, it made sense.
It's like 3 innings a half minute, or 3 minutes a half inning.
There we go. That's what,
Yeah,
see, you struggled with it too.
yeah, it's weird.
One half inning lasted an average of 3 minutes. It's the fastest full 9 innings that have ever been completed in Major League Baseball. And you're wondering why? It was the
World record.
Giants versus the Phillies. Giants versus the Phillies. Neither of these teams were involved in the playoffs, and apparently, players just wanted to get out of there. They were swinging at balls early on in the count, super early on in the count. Pitchers were just juicing fastballs down the middle. The Giants ended up winning 6-1. I mean, this is the dead ball era, the spitball era, so on and so forth. And no one really wanted to win the game. The Giants ended up doing so, but it's 51 minutes. Everyone wanted to go home, spend their time with their families in the off season. Or
Wow.
what do you think they did in the off season in 1919?
Probably had other jobs. The World War One. I don't know. Oh, actually, yeah, but prohibition. So they were making booze. They were definitely making
Oh,
booze.
yeah. You think like there were some, I mean, Babe Ruth probably,
I was gonna say,
but
like,
like,
imagine the beer sales for this game. I don't think they had quite the restrictions that they do now. But yeah, imagine being a fan being like, "Oh, wait, I just got my first beer. I'm gonna get in line for my second beer. It should be the second inning. It's the eighth inning. I can't buy more beer." People would be up in arms today.
who
So yeah,
knows?
hopefully this does not repeat. That's I think the only time you'd see a shortened game like that is if it got canceled for weather or some crazy circumstance. But yeah, full game. That's got to be. Is that the Guinness Book of World Records fastest MLB full game?
That is correct. Full game.
Wow.
There are shorter games that were ended, like games that were completed and counted as
Mm,
complete games that were shortened due to rain
yeah,
or
something.
in not injuries. What am I saying? Forfeits, like teams way back in the day would just be like, nah, doesn't happen anymore. But longest, or sorry, shortest game ever, a full 9 innings, September 28th, 1919.
I kind of want them to bring back forfeiting. That would be actually kind of fun. Imagine like instead of just being like down like 14-2, like no none of your home, especially if you're at home, no home fans are there. They're just watching that like I think you should bring it back. Let's let people forfeit games. I don't know.
You
Obviously it's
think?
got to be like after the seventh inning or something like that, but yeah, that would be kind of fun. I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, dude, Cubs forfeited today against the Guardians. It's like, oh man, that sucks.
We were so bad that we didn't even feel like playing. I mean, that's
But to do it, to forfeit, your manager has to come out of the dugout and wave a white flag. I think you have
oh
to do
yeah.
it. You can't just be
Embarrass
like we're
yourself
for
like that.
you have to be willing to embarrass yourself. So,
All right.
who do
Well,
we talk about? Do we
we
name
talked
some
about a
players?
lot of players.
Pete
We talked
Alonso. I
about
feel like
Pete.
we
Wasn't it
talked
just
Pete.
Pete? I feel like the pickle was Pete before,
Oh, it just was. You're right.
right?
I mean, Hunter Green. Should we do Hunter
We can do
Green?
Hunter Greene. Yeah, shout out to the Reds. And we'll get a pitcher out of the way too.
Righty, righty.
And it's a pitcher.
Okay.
Pitcher from the AL East or the AL West. And he's close to
Oh,
26. Okay.
AL East.
Okay. Is
Not from the
it
USA.
not from the USA?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Let's think AL East. It could be like a Luis Heel.
Oh, yep, yep, like that.
AL East from the Dominican Republic.
Or no, so not at AL East, or it's
Oh no, sorry,
AL
AL
West.
West. AL West from the Dominican Republic.
AL West could be.
Ooh, this could be tough.
Is there any Mariner? Did they do a? I
Luis
mean, wait,
Castillo is
wait,
probably
where's Frambler from? Wait,
oh,
undefined?
undefined.
They don't know where he's born. Where's
Wait,
Frambler from? I think he's unfortunately too old for.
Dominican Republic.
There we
He's
go.
32, but he's 32, but
How about Frambler? Did they
Framber's a
do an S?
lefty. Framber's a lefty.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So yeah, we know
They
the.
have Blanco, Ronel Blanco.
Yes, yes.
He's
I just send
32?
it.
Oh no.
Okay. We gotta go through. I know Hunter Brown. I don't think unless he's like Canadian. No, he's not Dominican. They got Frambler. They got Ronald
Framber,
Blanco.
they have Ronel Blanco. They have um
This has got to be like the fourth or fifth pitcher in the rotation. Oh, Urias?
what's his last name?
Yeah, well, there you go. He's Mex. Oh, no.
He's Max. No, that's not who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Arain. No, 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 no. Arania plays on the Angels.
Come
All right.
on. Why did they give us the
They gave us
Astros on
a
a day
tough
when
one.
the Astros don't they didn't make the playoffs? We should have known the Astros 2024, 2025 season. Come on.
Brian Abreu?
Oh.
Oh, closer. I mean, starter.
Wait,
No, oh, he's a closer. He's a closer.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Why did I click on him? He's the right A. We got everything right. We just don't have the pitcher.
The heck is it? I'm looking on SoRare. I'm sorry. Gotta look at who this could be.
Oh, Christian Javier. He's got to be older though than 28.
Wait, does this guy even have SoRare cards?
Christian Javier. Christian
Okay.
Javier. Christian
Okay.
Javier.
Yeah, come on, MLB. It should be playoff only
We should have
from this
we
day
should have
out.
started with the Astros. You know. You know.
Yeah, all signs pointed to them. They
Right.
disappointed.
Well, hey, before we unshare the screen here, why don't we go ahead and craft a little SoRare
You
card? Look
should.
at look at look at all this
Well,
essence.
look at all
Trying to
that
save
essence,
it,
man.
trying to save it for next year, but I want to see if I can get a postseason card.
I was gonna say after this, you should visit my gallery page for a little
Oh,
surprise.
okay.
You should see. Yeah,
Okay. Well, here we go. There's no going back now.
that'd be sweet.
It's a good high serial number.
That's a
Canada, Vladdy, first base, Vladdy. No way. That's great. That's great. That's perfect. That's great. That's my best craft of the year. That's the best one. That's the
and it's a
best craft of the
postseason
year.
edition.
It's postseason edition.
Oh my God, dude!
Dude.
Holy! And I was gonna brag about my card that I bought. I didn't craft. This guy should lie to you and say I
All
crafted him, but
right.
Jesus. Well, now don't go look at my gallery. Jeez. Oh my God.
Want to see something crazy? Uh, where are we going here? Look at that. 4 months ago, I won a Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Wow.
And today, oh, he's not here yet. Look at, did you know I won a Yelly too?
Ayo.
Today I crafted another Vladdy Jr. postseason edition. Wait,
That's
should I
crazy.
should I
Wait.
do another one now? No.
I mean,
It's like, are there only postseason edition cards available?
that I feel like they should say that if they're doing it. But no, next one's gonna be like I don't know, someone on the Pirates.
Yeah, yeah. I've crafted a McCutcheon and a Tommy Pham, so we don't want to will that into existence.
All right.
Let's see
Check
your
out my
cards here.
cards. Let's
Let's
see
see
my
your cards.
cards.
Ooh, I was looking at this
Yep.
exact card.
Yep. I
An
think
Abner Uribe postseason edition.
Although I'm gonna need someone else that's playing in
Someone
this
for
first
the
round.
first round.
So
I
probably a
would look
couple
at
others.
maybe like a middle inning reliever,
Hmm.
maybe like Tyler Rogers. Oh, he plays on the Mets. Oop, oop, oops.
Oh,
Yeah, like a middle inning guy, maybe just to save to bring the cost down. Or if you're trying to parlay that wild card round, hey, buy yourself a David
hey,
Bender.
there we
Buy
go. I
yourself
mean,
a David Bender.
most of us probably have some market credit. Like I myself, I see you have 21. I think I have like 35. So
Hmm.
make that $70 card $35.
Hmm.
Go get a Vladdy. Go get a
Yeah,
Vladdy.
yeah.
Jeez. Dang. Good craft. Good craft.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
There we go.
Out of
Did
all
it
the
on camera
crafts
too?
that I have done
On camera,
on
especially on
camera,
stream. Yeah.
on podcast, on recording,
Dang. Maybe
finally
Nosh's
we
bad
get a
luck.
good one. We get, yeah, true, true. Vladdy. Well, shout out to Vladdy. Shout out to the Blue Jays. One
Shout out
seed.
the Blue Jays.
One seed in the AL. Period. Brewers, one seed in the NL. What are your guys' thoughts? Let us know how your postseason brackets are shaping out. What were your surprises? I mean, if you aren't surprised by the Astros or the Mets, then you must have picked a pretty good bracket to begin the season. If you picked both the Mets and the Astros to be out of the playoffs in March, we would have called you insane. Yet here we are.
It it is crazy though. The Astros would have made the playoffs if they were still in the NL. They had a better record than
Better
both the
record than the
Mets
Reds and the Mets.
and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so Astros shouldn't have shifted, man. Shouldn't have shifted.
Yeah.
But
Well, to
that's
be
why it
fair,
matters.
it's wild that there used to be six teams in the Central. That's crazy. That's
It's a
like,
fun fact.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, maybe they'll go back to it. We'll see this offseason. There could be some divisional realignment. But
It'll
yeah.
be a couple of years from now, a couple of years from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get out of here, Andrew, did you know that ABS is official for
I
2026?
was just gonna say that
Yeah.
to you. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say we don't get
ABS,
that changed. We
two
got robot.
challenges, two per game, two per game. So it's not every
I knew it was
pitch.
coming.
It's not every pitch, but it's coming next year. But we don't got to worry about next year yet because it's September 28th. Postseason begins. October baseball technically actually starts on September 30th.
As you're listening to
But
this.
as you're listening to this, there's games going on because we upload this on 3 on Tuesday and there's games going on Tuesday. So we'll see you then. But for now, check us out on the socials, Instagram, give us a like on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify as well. We got some fun stuff planned for the postseason, for the off season, which we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Because for now, we got a great playoff series, playoff series is lined up. So yeah,
October baseball. We
October
waited
baseball, baby. October baseball.
6 months
See
for
ya.
this.
See ya. My heart rate is going to go through the roof once the Brewers start playing.
Oh God. We're not thinking
Hey,
about
maybe
that.
they'll get
That's next
swept
week.
and then we can just watch the rest of the playoffs like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at tickets for game 5 of the DS and I was like, well, it's a asterisk there. We'll see.
Yeah.
See if that
Remain
happens.
to be seen, remain to be seen. But for
Yeah.
now, thank you
Enjoy
all
that
for
first round.
listening. Yeah. Thank you all for listening to the Batting Practice podcast. It's been real, but now it's time to get in the game. Peace.
Peace.